You're being lied to. They told you that to feel rich, you need a six-figure income, a big house, 2 cars, and a vacation twice a year. But in Japan, families earning less than $40,000 a year are saving more than Americans making double that. How? By rejecting almost everything the West worships. While the average American household is drowning in over $100,000 of debt, Japanese families are living in 600-square-foot apartments, eating like royalty, raising kids on a fraction of the cost, and still building real wealth. They don't live small because they're poor. They live small because it works. Japan has quietly mastered the art of living well on less, and no one's talking about it. Until now. They outsmart food costs with Monetizing meals that waste nothing. Most people think saving money on food means couponing or skipping the organic aisle. Not in Japan. Japanese families have quietly perfected a culinary strategy that would make most Western kitchens look like waste factories. It's called Monetizing, a cultural philosophy that roughly means what a waste. But it's more than just a phrase. It's a lifestyle. And when it comes to food, it's practically an economic superpower. In Japanese kitchens, nothing goes to waste. Leftover rice becomes onigiri, rice balls, the next day. Vegetable peels are turned into soup stock. Even fish bones get roasted for calcium-rich seasoning. While American households throw away up to 30 to 40% of their food, equivalent to over $1,500 per year per family, Japanese households treat every morsel like gold. And it's not just frugality, it's presentation. A simple meal of leftovers is plated like art. Kids learn to appreciate quality over quantity, and adults don't need a table full of takeout to feel satisfied. Bento boxes are the perfect symbol of this mindset. Tiny, perfectly portioned meals that prove you don't need size to feel full. Japan also has far fewer mega-fridge households. Smaller refrigerators mean families shop more frequently, only buying what they need, which prevents spoilage and reduces impulse buys. Compare that to the West, where bulk buying often leads to bulk wasting. Japan's food system is lean, efficient, and deeply respectful, saving money while strengthening health. And let's talk cost. In Tokyo, even with its reputation for high living expenses, a household of 4 can spend less than $500 per month on groceries by following this method, less than half of what an average American family spends, all while eating fresh, balanced meals with less sugar, less processed junk, and far more nutritional value. And because the cultural expectation leans towards smaller, refined meals instead of oversized portions, there's no social pressure to overbuy or overeat. Monetizing is a quiet revolution hiding in plain sight, and it turns every kitchen into a temple of mindfulness and money saving. Japanese families don't just save on food, they elevate it while cutting costs to the bone. Literally. 9. They don't just live with less, they fix what the West throws away. What do you do when something breaks? If you're in the West, the answer is usually to toss it and buy a new one. But in Japan, that mindset is almost sacrilegious. Japanese families live by a repair-first mentality that flips the consumer script on its head. It's not just about saving money. It's about preserving value, honoring materials, and resisting the toxic cycle of throwaway culture. This philosophy is visible in practices like kintsugi, the ancient art of repairing broken pottery with gold. That's right, gold. Instead of hiding cracks, they celebrate them. It's a metaphor for life. Yes, but also a lesson in economics. Don't discard, restore. The average American household throws away over 68 pounds of textiles every year, mostly clothes with minor damage. In contrast, Japan embraces patching, mending, and repurposing. Schools even teach basic sewing and repair skills. A torn shirt isn't replaced. It's stitched into a story. Electronics, repaired. Furniture, refinished. Shoes, resoled. And because Japanese manufacturing tends to emphasize durability and modularity, many items are built with repair in mind from the start. You can still find 25-year-old toasters in working condition in Japanese kitchens, humming like it's 1999. But this isn't just nostalgia. It's money in the bank. Repairing instead of replacing cuts hundreds, even thousands from annual expenses. A family that patches clothes, maintains appliances, and avoids planned obsolescence might save $3,000, $5,000 annually, without sacrificing quality of life. This thrift extends to services too. Many Japanese towns have local fix-it stations, where community members help each other repair household goods for free. And culturally, there's zero stigma in owning older items. In fact, well-maintained tools and furniture are often viewed as signs of responsibility and good character. While Western consumers are locked into upgrade cycles, new phone every year, new couch every 5, Japanese families live in a different timeline. They don't just buy differently. They relate to their possessions differently. Every object has value beyond its price tag. It's why clutter is rare, quality is prized, and spending is always intentional. And the result? Homes that age gracefully, wallets that don't leak, and a lifestyle that quietly resists the endless churn of consumerism. If you're wondering how Japan stays financially sane in a chaotic world, this is one of their biggest secrets. 8. Their kids learn money habits by living them, not just hearing about them. Let's get one thing straight. Japanese kids don't just learn financial responsibility in textbooks. They live it, breathe it, and see it modeled every single day. From the moment they can count, children in Japan are given a level of autonomy and accountability that would shock most Western parents. By age 6 or 7, many are running errands, handling pocket money, and learning how to manage small budgets without parental micromanagement. This isn't just cute, it's economic genius. Because by the time they hit adulthood, they already understand budgeting, saving, and value assessment in a way most people in the West don't learn until their 30s, if ever. Take the Otsukai tradition. It's common for young kids to be sent on errands alone, buying groceries, taking the train, managing transactions. There's even a TV show called My First Errand that documents these outings. Sounds minor, but it's a massive confidence builder, and it plants the seeds of financial independence early. Most kids also receive otoshidama, or New Year's gift money, from family. But instead of blowing it all, they're taught to save, split it into categories, or even invest it in simple savings accounts. That's right. Children as young as 10 are learning compound interest before they've hit puberty. Schools reinforce this by emphasizing group harmony, delayed gratification, and financial responsibility. Unlike the Western model of flashy brand obsession, Japanese students often wear uniforms, use shared supplies, and carry the same basic items for years. There's little pressure to outspend peers. This doesn't just prevent debt culture. It inoculates against it. As a result, Japan has one of the lowest youth debt rates among developed nations. And by the time these kids become adults, frugality isn't a chore, it's second nature. Compare that to the US, where nearly 60% of adults say they were never taught about money growing up, and where teens are bombarded with ads for credit cards and buy now, pay later apps. Japan's approach doesn't just build good habits, it builds strong families. Because when your children grow up knowing how to handle money, you don't have to bail them out later. Financial education isn't a lesson, it's a lifestyle, and in Japan it starts early, sticks deep, and saves families a fortune over time. 7. They maximize every inch of space and turn it into cash flow. In Japan, real estate isn't just expensive, it's nearly mythical. In Tokyo, an apartment the size of a walk-in closet in New York can easily cost over $2,000 per month. So how do families survive? They don't just live in small spaces, they monetize them. From micro-businesses to passive income hacks, Japanese households have mastered the art of turning even the tiniest corners of their homes into productivity engines. Take Nando spaces. These are essentially closets or storage nooks. But in Japan, they often get converted into rentable mini-offices, online store inventory hubs, or even cozy podcasting studios. And it goes deeper. Families use platforms like minpaku to legally rent out a room or tatami area short-term to tourists. Others run micro-kitchens out of their homes, selling bento boxes to nearby office workers. Because Japanese regulations allow for certain home-based businesses in residential zones, a family can turn a 2-bedroom flat into a bakery, tutoring center, and part-time Airbnb, all without ever leaving their front door. It's a side hustle culture, but without the burnout, everything is built around efficiency. In fact, a recent survey found that 1 in 5 urban Japanese households earn supplemental income from a home-based business or side hustle. Compare that to Western households, where the gig economy often requires more hours, more tools, and more space to operate. In Japan, the strategy is lean and profitable. Vertical storage systems, fold-down workstations, sliding walls, they transform what looks like a cramped space into a money-making machine. It's not about having more space, it's about using it with ruthless creativity. And let's not forget savings. Smaller homes equal smaller bills. Heating a 600 square foot home in Sapporo costs a fraction of what a McMansion in Ohio would. With average monthly utility bills under $150, Japanese families free up more cash for saving or investing. Every inch they don't heat, don't cool, and don't stuff with junk turns into silent financial gains. So while outsiders may think Japanese families are squeezed into tiny boxes, the truth is, they're optimizing, innovating, and often out-earning Westerners per square foot. In Japan, a small home isn't a limitation. It's an opportunity with walls. 6. They buy used, but with a level of style and precision that puts the West to shame. You might think buying second-hand is about settling for less, but in Japan, it's practically a science, and a fashionable one at that. Japanese families save thousands every year by embracing the second-hand economy, not out of desperation, but out of deliberate strategy. Thrift shopping in Japan isn't a hunt through dusty racks or torn furniture. It's sleek, organized, and curated. Walk into a store like Second Street, Book Off or Hard Off, and you'll see spotless rows of barely worn designer clothes, like new electronics, and furniture in better condition than what most Americans have at home. Why? Because in Japan, taking care of items is baked into the culture. Most people clean obsessively, preserve packaging, and treat possessions with respect. So when they sell something, it's often in near pristine condition. This means that buying used in Japan is more like buying certified pre-loved, and the discounts are staggering. You can snag a $400 rice cooker for $80, or a $2,000 designer bag for $300, and no one blinks. There's no stigma in buying used. In fact, it's often seen as financially savvy and eco-conscious. Let's talk numbers. Japan's second-hand market is now worth over $20 billion USD annually, and growing fast. Platforms like Mercari allow households to sell and buy online with incredible ease. It's common for families to cycle through goods, baby strollers, air purifiers, office chairs by selling them when no longer needed and replacing them with gently used versions. This creates a circular economy where money stays in the community, not in corporate hands, and it dramatically cuts household spending without sacrificing quality of life. Meanwhile, the average American throws away over 80 pounds of clothing per year and still racks up over $1,400 in fashion spending annually. Japanese families? They cut that in half and look better doing it. Because buying used isn't about giving up luxury, it's about redefining it. When your economy runs on efficiency, even second-hand items feel first class. Japan didn't just normalize used goods, they elevated them, and in the process, they unlocked yet another secret to living rich on less. 5. They cut transportation costs without sacrificing freedom, thanks to a system that actually works in most countries. Ditching the car feels like cutting off a limb. In Japan, it's financial liberation. Japanese families have cracked the code on living without a car, or at least without letting it drain their bank accounts. Unlike in America, where the average household owns 2.1 cars and spends over $11,000 a year per vehicle on payments, insurance, fuel, and maintenance, many Japanese families glide through life car-free, and they don't feel deprived. They feel free, because Japan has something the rest of the world envies: an insanely reliable, clean, and hyper-efficient transportation network. Let's break this down. The average Tokyoite can access over 200 train stations within a 10-kilometer radius. Buses show up on time to the minute. Subways are cleaned hourly, and taxis, while pricey, are known for their spotless interiors and polite drivers. The real brilliance? Everything's integrated. Your Suica or Pasmo card can handle trains, subways, buses, vending machines, even some convenience stores. It's public transport made seamless. The result? Millions of families skip car ownership entirely and pocket thousands in the process. Even in rural areas where driving is more common, car use is strategic. KED cars, those adorable ultra-compact vehicles, come with lower taxes, insurance, and fuel consumption. They're designed for exactly what Japanese families need: grocery runs, school drop-offs, and weekend outings, not 12-hour road trips across 5 states. The average K-car gets over 60 miles per gallon, and many cost under $10,000 new. Compare that to the $48,000 average new car price. In the US, it's not just a financial win, it's a mindset shift. And don't forget cycling. Japan's urban design actually supports bikes. Families routinely transport kids, groceries, and even dogs on electric assist mamachari bikes, some of which are fully enclosed for rain protection. In fact, 15% of all trips in Tokyo are made by bicycle. The infrastructure is there. The lifestyle is normalized. The savings are real. And best of all, the environmental footprint is a fraction of the Western model. So while other countries budget for gas hikes, car repairs, and parking tickets, Japanese families quietly opt out. They choose movement without debt, freedom without fumes, and in doing so they keep more money in their pockets and more peace in their daily routines. 4. They turn boredom into creativity and entertainment into a budget-friendly art form. In the West, fun often comes with a price tag. Theme parks, restaurants, subscriptions, shopping as leisure. It's not unusual for a family of 4 to drop $200, $300 on a single day out. In Japan, fun isn't about consumption. It's about creativity, culture, and connection. Japanese families are masters at finding joy in simple, low-cost, high-value experiences that don't destroy their wallets. And here's the kicker. The experiences are often richer, more meaningful, and way more memorable than whatever amusement park ride you're waiting 2 hours to ride. Let's start with DIY culture, origami, calligraphy, manga drawing, traditional crafts like kumihimo braiding or sashiko embroidery. These aren't just old-school hobbies. They're affordable ways families bond while building skills and appreciation for beauty and patience. Instead of dropping hundreds on digital distractions, Japanese families lean into analog joy, and it's backed by numbers. Households in Japan spend less than $100/month on entertainment, compared to $297/month in the U.S., according to Bureau of Labor Statistics data. Then there's the love for nature. Cherry blossom season, free. Autumn leaf viewing, momijigari, also free. Families pack homemade bento boxes, hop on a train, and turn a local park visit into a full-day cultural celebration. Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples, thousands of them, offer free public access to serene grounds, seasonal festivals, and quiet beauty that feels like stepping into another world. There's a reverence for quiet enjoyment. No need for overstimulation or endless novelty. The real entertainment lies in observation, detail, and shared moments. Even Japanese media reflects this. While Hollywood feeds constant action, Japanese TV features shows like Shinya Shokudo about a quiet midnight diner or terrace house where drama is subtle and slow burning. It mirrors how families engage with the world. Less noise, more nuance. And when families do splurge, it's often on traditional experiences, like visiting a hot spring town, staying in a ryokan, or attending a local Matsuri festival. These events cost less than a weekend hotel stay in Vegas, and they're steeped in cultural richness. Bottom line, Japanese families have redefined leisure. It's not about spending, it's about savoring. They've rejected boredom-driven consumerism and replaced it with mindful recreation. And in doing so, they stay entertained, educated, and connected without breaking the bank. That's not just financially smart. That's emotionally rich. 3. They leverage government and corporate support the smart way, without overextending. Most people don't realize how deeply Japanese families benefit from a system designed to help without hand-holding. It's a delicate, efficient blend of government subsidies, corporate perks, and community-based support that keeps families afloat without creating dependency. This is how Japanese families live on less and still feel rich, because while salaries may be modest, the hidden support network is massive and it frees up real money every month. Let's start with childcare. In the US, daycare can cost more than rent, averaging over $1.200 a month per child. In Japan, the government subsidizes public daycare based on income, and many families pay as little as $200 a month or less. Some even qualify for zero-cost preschool for ages 3-5, thanks to a 2019 national reform aimed at boosting birth rates. That's thousands saved annually, with no sacrifice in quality. And meals? Provided at school. Uniforms? Standardized and inexpensive. Extracurriculars? Affordable. School-based. And community-run. Then you have corporate housing benefits. Nearly 45% of major Japanese companies offer employee housing subsidies, rent support, or even company-owned apartments. This isn't limited to CEOs. Middle-income workers often receive 30–50% off market rent, making urban living affordable without stretching the budget. Companies also cover transportation for employees, meaning you can live further out and still commute without financial stress. Healthcare? Another win. Universal coverage ensures that medical costs don't sink families. Even major procedures are capped at 80 yen, $000/month, about $550, under the high-cost medical expense benefit system. Compare that to American families who fear a single ER visit like a financial bomb. And then there's Japan's approach to elderly care. Multi-generational households often receive government incentives, and care is supplemented by public long-term care insurance. It's designed to prevent one illness from collapsing an entire family's finances. When you add it all up, subsidized childcare, discounted rent, near-free schooling, affordable health care, it's not just support, it's strategy. It allows families to allocate more money towards savings, hobbies, education, or early retirement. And it works without excess bureaucracy or complicated tax codes. It's lean, effective, and invisible to outsiders. Japan has quietly engineered a social system that lifts families up just enough to thrive, but not so much that they rely on it blindly. And that's the secret: structured independence. It's what makes living on less not only possible, but profoundly empowering. 2. They build ikigai into daily life, so they don't have to buy happiness. This one's huge, and most of the world misses it entirely. Japanese families aren't chasing dopamine through shopping carts or credit card splurges. They're chasing something deeper. It's called ikigai, the reason for being, a quiet but powerful concept that fuels motivation, purpose, and daily joy without needing to constantly spend. And when your days are already rich with meaning, you don't need to fill the void with gadgets, takeout, or shopping hauls. Ikigai isn't one thing. It's the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what sustains you. And this philosophy bleeds into every part of Japanese family life. Parents take pride in preparing balanced meals with care, not because it's trendy, but because nourishing your family is meaningful work. Children are taught that chores aren't punishments, they're contributions. Even jobs that seem menial are approached with dignity. A street sweeper in Tokyo isn't just a street sweeper. He's a caretaker of the environment. This mindset reshapes the economics of happiness. When your daily routine includes a clear sense of purpose, cooking, cleaning, walking, writing, creating, you're fulfilled without consuming, and that's massive. Studies show that people who live with a sense of purpose are less likely to engage in impulsive spending, more likely to save, and report higher life satisfaction. Japan's famed blue zones, where residents often live past 100, are built around ikigai. It's not just a philosophy. It's a budget saver and a longevity hack. Western culture often tries to buy happiness in bulk through Amazon packages and vacation escapes. But Japanese families understand something deeper. Fulfillment isn't something you order. It's something you cultivate. When your life is already rich with intention, your bank account doesn't have to suffer trying to chase it. This explains why Japan has one of the lowest household debt rates among developed nations. Despite having relatively lower average incomes, people simply don't need to spend as much to feel alive, because they're not numbing emptiness. They're nourishing purpose, and that's a lesson every household anywhere could use. The wealthiest families in Japan may not drive luxury cars or wear designer logos, but they wake up each morning with clarity, and that's worth more than any shopping spree. 1. They don't just live on less. They plan on less, and that changes everything. Most people accidentally live on less when something goes wrong, a job loss, a medical bill, a crisis. But Japanese families? They do it on purpose. The difference is everything. Instead of budgeting reactively, they plan proactively for a simple life, not as a downgrade, but as the goal. And this changes how every yen is spent, every hour is used, and every decision is made. They don't just live within their means. They build their lives around the idea that enough is more than sufficient. This philosophy is baked into the kakebo tradition, a home budgeting method dating back to 1904. Think of it as the original mindfulness tracker for your wallet. But it's not just about numbers. It's about reflecting on spending habits weekly and monthly. Asking questions like, did I need this? Did it bring me joy? What can I do better next month? This level of introspection trains families to control desires, anticipate needs, and avoid lifestyle inflation before it even begins. And the data shows it works. According to Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs, the average Japanese household saves over 25% of their income, nearly triple the U.S. household savings rate. That's not a typo. And they do it without earning dramatically more. They just spend with intention from day one. Big weddings? Rare. Flashy birthday parties? Uncommon. Inheritances are built not from windfalls, but from decades of planning and restraint. It's not boring. It's brilliant. And here's the kicker. Planning for less actually gives them more freedom, more room to adapt during economic downturns, more flexibility to retire early, more confidence to take time off, more ability to say no. While the rest of the world builds lives that require constant income just to maintain, Japanese families construct a lifestyle that thrives on simplicity. They aren't afraid of having less, because they've already optimized around it. And that's the real secret. Living small isn't a fallback. It's the blueprint. Japan didn't stumble into this lifestyle. They designed it, carefully, patiently, decades at a time. And in that design is a lesson the rest of the world desperately needs. Don't plan to grow forever. Plan to live better, smarter, and freer. Not someday, but right now,